AV in your ears, that's Ambush Vid, giving you this audio visual down the most interesting street in the world. With my boy Steve, Fascination Street, you already know. Let's get it when you whip in the Fascination Street. What do you...
I'm Charlotte Kirk, and you're listening to Fascination Street podcast.
Yeah, AV in your ears, that's Ambush Vid, giving you this audio visual down the most interesting street in the world. With my boy Steve, Fascination Street, you already know. Let's get it when you whip in the Fascination Street. What do you...
Welcome back, Streetwalkers. This episode is a return appearance. Director and producer and screenwriter Nick Leisure comes back on the show today to talk about his new film, Golden. Nick originally appeared on the show September 19th, 2022, and so that is when we did the whole backstory and how did he get from where he was to where he is kind of a story. So go back and check that out. It was a lot of fun. That particular episode, we got a little nutty, even though we didn't really know each other. It kind of seemed like we did because we were just kind of joking and laughing and cracking all kinds of crazy jokes and just being goofy as hell. So go check that out. It was a lot of fun. But in this episode, we talk about his current film, Golden, starring Brian Austin Green, Massi Furlan, Robert Miano, Glenn Plummer, Alena Savostakova, and Josh Gilmer. This is directed by Nick Leisure, as I said. He is a producer as well. It opens nationwide in theaters this Friday, March 20th. And because Nick Leisure is so cool, he said any listener who DMs him on Instagram at Nick Leisure, he will select a random streetwalker or streetwalkers and provide them with free tickets to a red carpet movie premiere. You will get to meet some of those stars of the show. You will get an autographed poster, and he might even buy you some popcorn. Again, that's really only if you're in the Los Angeles area this week, because that is going to happen on March 19th. It is Thursday. So make sure you DM him and tell him you're a streetwalker and see what happened. In this episode, we also talk about some of his experiences on previous films, some of the stories from behind the scenes about making this film, Golden. He has a really crazy story about a police encounter in Mexico during pre-production. It is hilarious and does involve Skittles. We also talk about a couple of his upcoming features. Later on this year, probably around July, will be New Year's Absolution, starring Michael Copon. And later this year, or in the beginning of next year, another film hits theaters called The Last Bride, directed by Nick and starring previous guest of the show, Charlotte Kirk. I have a lot of fun talking to Nick. He is always so down to earth, and we just chat like we're old homies. So hopefully he will be on in the future to promote some of these other upcoming films. But in the meantime, this is my conversation with director, producer, screenwriter, Nick Leisure.
Prepare to be fascinated. Prepare to be fascinated. Prepare to be fascinated.
Welcome back to Fascination Street Podcast, Nick Leisure. What's up, dude?
Hey, man. How you doing?
I am fantastic, man. It has been a long time no see. Ladies and gentlemen, streetwalkers, if you will, Nick's first appearance on the show was September 19, 2022. And back then, we were promoting Last Night, which was a banger. That was a crazy premise for a movie. Here's the thing, though. Before we go any further, Nick, I got to apologize to you, man.
Why?
I was listening to your previous episode earlier this week. I was checking it out, so that we don't talk about some of the same stuff. And, oh my God, dude. I sounded like I must have been drunk for the whole thing.
Were you?
I have no idea. I do not know, but I apologize. I was a little rowdy. My apologies, my man.
No worries.
Thank you for coming back. So since we talked about it on the first appearance back in September of 2022, we're not going to do the whole how did you get from where you were to where you are thing. We're not going to go your kind of whole life story because we already did that. Everybody can go check that out. But what we are going to do this time is we're going to talk about some other things. Like, for instance, hey, man, what have you been up to since the last time we talked?
No, it's been, 4 years since we talked?
Yeah, well, it's like 3.5, I think. But I think at the time you were about to move back to Los Angeles. So did you?
So I moved to Orange County now. I'm in Orange County.
All right.
I like it a little bit more than Los Angeles, a little cleaner.
You can hide behind the orange curtain?
Yeah, a little bit. Stay by the beach, get into LA when I need to, and get out.
So is Orange County closer to the San Diego area or no?
And in between,
In between?
in the middle, in between, yeah.
So it's closer to where you grew up, but not necessarily in where you grew up, right?
Well, I grew up in Sacramento.
Oh, that's right. I'm an idiot. You grew up in the capital. You got in trouble for skateboarding in the capital. That's right.
I did. You remember?
Told you, bro. I told you. Like I said, we're going to talk about all kinds of things. We're definitely going to talk about a project that you have that is out right now. And we're going to talk about a project that you have coming up later in the year. But before all that, I got to know, did you ever go back and pick up or rewrite Mahjong about Raymond Shrimp Boy Chow? Did you ever go back and pick that up?
It's been kind of on the shelf for a while. I've talked about it a few times with his attorney, and we've been trying to figure out where to go with it. You know, it's one of those things where it's like we've had a lot of interest in that story.
I would imagine, yeah.
So we're trying to figure out the right way to go about it. There's some legal things we have to make sure we take care of because it's based on a true story.
So it's not dead, yeah? There's still the potential.
Yeah, actually creeping up on my list now, so we're probably getting closer to it.
Good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that list.
Mm-hmm.
The last time we talked, I threw a thing out at you because, you know, you like to do sort of real life inspired event shit, action packed real life inspired event shit. And when we talked, I had pitched you a book called Up on Game. It was about a bank robber named Richard Stanley who robbed like 13 banks or something in San Diego.
Okay.
I already have a screenwriter attached, man. I'm just looking for somebody to make this movie, bro. I have absolutely no skin in this game at all.
Send me the script.
Yeah. All right. I'll get it to you.
Okay.
Nick, bro.
Yeah.
You make movies with people that you like, and you keep making them with the people that you like.
Mm-hmm.
When you were last on, we were talking about Last the Night, which had Brian Austin Green and Glenn Plummer and a few other folks. This movie that we're going to talk about right now, which is coming out this Friday, is your latest feature film, Golden, which also stars Brian Austin Green and Glenn Plummer, as well as a few other folks, which we will get to in a minute. But how many times are you going to work with Brian Austin Green and Glenn Plummer, bro? Like, are these your boys? Just the three of y'all going to make movies for eternity?
We're pretty close. We're good friends. I love Glenn. Glenn's one of the guys that I call and say, hey, Glenn, I got this role for you. And he's like, I'm there. You don't even read the script yet. He's just like, I'm there because he knows I'm going to put him in something that he's going to love. And Brian, we're boys and we just talk about life stuff and we talk about film stuff. And, you know, I throw stuff at him and he's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's make it happen.
I think it's because when you first started talking to him about potentially being in Last Night, y'all talked about the movie for like 10 minutes, but then y'all just, for like an hour, y'all just hung out and shut the shit, talked about building like chicken coops
and all that stuff.
I love that.
Yeah.
So is this going to be the second movie that you and Brian are doing?
Yes.
Okay. So your latest feature, Golden, distributed by Level 33 Entertainment. It is a leisure film. Check you out. It also stars Massi Furlan, Robert Miano. Again, I said Glenn Plummer, Brian Austin Green, Alena
Savostakova.
God damn it. Alena Savostakova and Josh Gilmer. This is going to be your most ambitious theatrical release to date. Why is that a phrase that exists? What do you mean most ambitious? What?
I think a lot of it is because of how we filmed it, and we shot in Mexico for probably 80% of this film.
Oh, no. Is this the same one that you shot a clear shot?
Same location area, but
not the same studio where all your shit got robbed, right?
We did, yeah. Part of it was in the same studio.
Why do you keep going back there, bro? What's wrong with you?
I don't know. Maybe we like getting robbed. No. Yeah, but you know, we had our own set of problems, and this was kind of like the nail in the coffin for us. Going, you know what? We shot a couple other productions in between over there, and it went really well. And then, man, it was the behind the scenes would have been a movie by itself, just getting this thing done.
Well, give me some of those highlights or lowlights or whatever. What happened, man?
Man, I could talk to you about like even just showing up for pre-production. First night, I'm in Los Angeles doing a table read, and my DP and I and two other production assistants decided we're going to drive from Los Angeles to Rosarito just to get started on pre-production and stuff because we were going to leave the next day. But we said, you know, let's just drive out tonight and get there. So we roll in about 10 p.m. and pull up to a police stop about a block away from our house down there. And the cops weren't very nice that night, ended up trying to.
Wait, you mean they stopped you?
Yeah.
They pulled you over?
Yep, they stopped us. They had one of those, where they block off the streets and have everybody kind of pull over.
Was it like a sobriety checkpoint? What was that?
Yeah, in Mexico, it's not really a sobriety checkpoint. It's more like you want to check your wallet point,
Oh, great.
So, we pulled up to one of those, and I had made a lot of relationships in Mexico with, the police chiefs and mayors and a lot of people in the government. So most of the time I could pick up the phone, make a phone call and put them on the phone and, they'll let us go and we just move on with our day. And so this time we had a cop who was a little bit of a rogue cop that decided that wasn't going to be the game plan. As I picked up my phone, I did make a call to one of my workers that was able to get on the road and head over that way, a couple blocks away from where we were at. But second call I tried to make, took my phone and threw it out the window, and the cop did. And it was this big old guy like eating Skittles at the same time and slapped.
Skittles?
Yeah. And he slaps the cuffs on me and pulls me out of the car, and pulls everybody else out the car. There's 4 of us and we're all cuffed there for, I don't know, an hour and a half or something, standing in the middle of nowhere. They're trying to get more money out of us. And it was pretty intense. It was interesting. And, And so one of my workers ended up showing up about 10 minutes later and tried to talk to the cops about it. And he wasn't a very smart cop, though, because I had one of my wallets that had a lot of money in my front pocket. And he uncuffs us and tells everybody to put our hands on the hood of the truck. And so I pull my wallet out and I stick it underneath my hand. And so when he comes around and starts checking everybody, he starts checking my pockets and stuff. I slide my wallet over to my buddy and he covers it up on the hood of the car, and he just kind of kept going. And so he wasn't very smart, I guess. He was still eating Skittles too at the time. So I actually
was he by himself, no partner?
Well, he had a couple other guys, but they weren't there with us. They were off trying to pull other people over at the same time.
Jesus Christ. Again, why do you keep going back there, bro?
So, long story short, the next day, one of my buddies down there, who was a lieutenant governor, ended up calling police chief and brought those guys over the next day, gave me my money back, made an apology. The mayor came out, took a picture with us and everything, and then she posted it on her social media page on Facebook. And at that point, it kind of became like, I don't know if we want to really be down here that much anymore.
Why not? Now you got a get out of jail free card with the picture with the mayor, bro.
Everybody in Mexico knows you're making movies and got money.
Uh-oh.
So,
yeah, great.
That's not what you want.
Wow. You have to start coming to San Antonio, bro.
Right?
That's way far. Wow. Well, how much money did they get from you on that stop?
Wasn't that much. It was like $500 and something. The crazy thing is we had a lot more money stashed away that he never found. He wasn't that thorough with his job. But I did create one of the characters in Golden that is a cop. And I decided to make him, I casted somebody that looked like him. And I made him, instead of Skittles, I have him eating M&Ms. So it inspired one of these characters in Golden.
That is so funny. In the special acknowledgments, it just says, special thanks to that one asshole.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
Exactly.
So hit me with the premise. What's Golden about?
Golden is about a guy that's getting ready to turn 50 years old, and he's been working for his dad's print shop his whole life and feels like he really hasn't done much with his life and wants to try to figure out how to get out from underneath his father. And he comes up with this idea to print counterfeit money and take it over the border into Mexico and exchange it for pesos and stuff over there and start buying property and having people build a property for him by the beach in Mexico. Somebody finds out he doesn't have time. He's in a rush one time and he ends up giving them counterfeit money instead of doing the exchange first. And that starts to crumble his whole world at that point. Cartel gets involved and corrupt cops and all kinds of things happen. He falls for this girl that came into his print shop all the time that's been printing club flyers for her boyfriend's nightclub. And so they try to get in on this deal with him on this counterfeit money thing. And then he ends up falling for that girl. And then now he's got a boyfriend that is after him at the same time. And Brian's character turns into this guy who's just really going crazy on the road. It's action-packed.
Wow. So not a huge departure from his character in Last Night.
Total different character, yeah.
Dude goes nuts.
Yeah.
Now I got to ask, that money that you took across the border with you when you got that stop, bro, was it real?
Yes, it was.
Who wrote this script? Who wrote this movie?
I wrote it with a friend of mine, Rachel Powell. She's a pretty big screenwriter, and I was inspired by, this is actually a true life story of my first martial arts instructor, his father. I did like a small documentary on him years ago, but we never released it. So it was based on a true story, or inspired by a true story, I should say, because we did change it quite a bit. I tapped Rachel and said, hey, I got this story. I got this idea. I'm going to write something out. I want you to check it out. And she came in and kind of doctored it up for me. And, we dialed it in really good.
So this is something that you wrote several years ago and just kind of brought it back. You did a revisit and then you had her help you punch it up or whatever. Mm-hmm. What makes something like that bubble up? Like, you mentioned you wrote this a while back. What makes it come to fruition now?
When you feel like the script is to the point where you really got to make it.
So this wasn't like you pulled it out from a drawer and said, hey, Rachel, help me out. This is something that had been going on, this rewrite or this punch up had been going on for a while.
Yeah, I think I had like 3 different versions of this story at one point. Initially wrote one myself, initially worked with another writer to kind of write this, and it just wasn't there yet. And then when I brought Rachel in, we essentially cleaned the slate completely, and we're like, this story doesn't work like this. But the idea of it works. Let's start fresh and completely rewrite this thing from scratch. And the new version just came out exactly where I was like, I need to make this into a movie. And when I sent it over to Brian, he was like, this is great. This is a really good script. And that's where we moved on.
I love it. What is Pacerville?
Pacerville was actually Last of the Night initially.
Oh, okay.
Original title of Pacerville.
Got you.
So distributor changed that.
Hey, Streetwalkers. Here's a word from our sponsors. Let's get back into it.
You are rapidly becoming the name in independent action thrillers. Is that going to be the genre that you dominate?
I did 2 more horror films after that. I did New Year's Absolution with Michael Copon that releases in July. Mm-hmm. I wrapped another one with Charlotte Kirk called The Last Bride.
Previous guest of the show, Charlotte Kirk. Yes.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. She was on your show?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, she's cool. I'm assuming that you guys made this movie before she had a baby?
Yes. And we wrapped it up, before she had the baby. And what's funny,
because if she's playing a pregnant bride, then y'all really should have did this in San Antonio.
We're right in the middle of landing a distribution deal right now. But when that movie comes out, probably towards the end of the year, early next year, you have to watch it because I wrote in a scene at the end where I don't want to give it away, but
she's an extraordinary actress.
Yeah. Yeah, she is. She's great to work with, too. She was a trooper. She do all her own little stunts. And we filmed in the middle of the woods, freezing cold at 3:00 in the morning. And she was a trooper.
Yeah, she's a workhorse for sure. Talk about being a trooper. Before, I guess, she became an actress, she was trying to become a pop star. Mm-hmm. So I brought up, or maybe she brought it, I don't remember. It came up, and I was just like, can I play one of your, she was like, sure. I mean, it feels weird now because it's so far removed, but yeah, do it. And so she let me play a song from a million years ago on her episode. It was dope.
Cool. Yeah.
She's really cool.
Yeah.
Now, I know we talked last time that you did a bunch of music videos, and that's kind of how you got into the directing game and whatnot, and you were doing a bunch of commercials and stuff. I know that with music videos, as if there's a place to play them anymore, but you don't get residuals for music videos, right?
No.
And when a commercial, I guess, ends its run, then it's just dead forever, unless for whatever reason, I can't imagine somebody picks it up. Those are income streams that have a finite date, right? Those just end. You don't get paid on those forever. Mm-hmm. What was it like the first time you got a residual check on something that wasn't your last residual check? Does that make sense? Like, what was it like getting your first of many residual checks on a project?
It's incredible. You open up this check in the mail and you're like, wow, I get a whole 85 cents this quarter.
Yeah, so you're rich. That's cool. I love that. Yeah, you said, I'm going to use this 85 cents to make my next film.
After distribution takes their fees and everything, and you see how much it does, and you're like, and then your sales agent takes their fees and it starts coming down the pipeline, and you're like, oh, wow, okay, well, it did quite a bit of numbers, but they just didn't make it through the mail.
The mail must be delivered by that Skittles eating cop. He just kept shaving off a little for himself.
Yeah, so it's but every production we get smarter too in negotiating our deals, and I just partnered with PalmStar Media, Kevin Scott Frakes, the EP of like John Wick and Split, Glass, writer of Hereditary and stuff. So we did a pretty major deal this year. I think we're going to release some stuff in the trades coming up about it. We're working on a movie together as well, and a slate of about 20 films.
What?
Yeah, I'm not supposed to leak it all out yet, but yes.
Whoa, 20 films. Holy shit, bro, you're busy.
Yeah, I am busy.
Now, are these 20 films do you already know what they are, or is it just like nebulous projects?
Not all of them. The first couple, I mean, we have like Hereditary 2 that's part of the slate.
So you're going to be directing?
I'm not directing that one, I'm producing.
You're producing. So is this whole deal, all of these 20, are you as producer?
I'm directing a project called Dorothea that we're currently in the second draft of right now. It's a pretty big project. It's a horror project based on a true life story in Sacramento, California. Dorothea Puente, a boarding house lady who was burying everybody in her backyard. And so that script is in the second draft right now. I think it's pretty close to being ready to shoot it. So hopefully towards the end of this year, early next year, we'll be filming that one.
Wow. Who's going to play Dorothea? Charlotte? You only work with the same actors, so it's got to be Charlotte now, right?
I don't know. I mean, Kevin's really good friends with Renee Zellweger. There's a few people that have been thrown out to me already, so we're not sure yet. I think the biggest thing is getting the script dialed in where we want it, and Kevin's an incredible writer. Trusted him, but even based on what he did with Hereditary, it was incredible. So that's going to be an interesting one.
All right, cool. Well, part of that 20, I'll have to get you that script for that bank robber movie.
Yeah. I'm always looking for great content.
Sure. So we're talking about you recently, or I guess are about to announce, exclusive. You have this agreement with PalmStar Media and Kevin Scott Frakes. How did something like that happen? Like, you're busy ducking Skittles cops in Mexico and trying to make all these movies. When do you even have time to get into a meeting about being a producer for all this other stuff? And why would you do it? What's in it for you?
Obviously, growth in my productions and taking it to another level. Kevin's at the highest level you can get, right? So when you're doing John Wicks and all those type of movies. I met him through a mutual friend that put us on a Zoom call together talking about financing some films, and we hit it off, and he liked this idea I had about this story and said, I want to write this thing.
The Dorothea story?
Yeah, we started out as like him writing it and producing it with me as I was to direct it, and then just working along with him I ended up in some meetings with him at the office down in Los Angeles. Eli Roth and a bunch of other people were there, and I was kind of, listening to all these different meetings that were happening. And I was like, how do I get involved in some of these projects, And then fast forward, almost a year later, here we are doing some stuff together. So,
well, that's kick-ass, dude. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I don't have to tell you, but it sounds like, this connection was made through a friend or whatever. But bro, if you don't have the goods, they don't invite you to those meetings, and this shit doesn't happen. So
yeah,
just know you're doing the right things, dude. That's awesome. I know that you have a whole shitload of movies that you're working on. How do you prioritize your day? Like, I know right now you're promoting Golden. Pretty soon you're going to be promoting, New Year's Absolution, and then The Last Bride. You're writing this other film, and then you're going to be doing this thing with PalmStar. Like, how do you prioritize your day, man? Do you got a whole team of people helping you figure shit out?
I just hired an assistant that is really helping me out now. I go through phases. Like when I'm on production, I have a very big team that I work with, anywhere from 60 to 100 people.
What the fuck?
Yeah, but in between, I don't have that many people. So I have a couple people that I bounce back and forth ideas off of. But I just hired a personal assistant that's helping me quite a bit. I'm actually hiring another one coming up as well. So it's, I slap a lot of stuff on the whiteboard and fill my calendar up, and I just get it done and try to get some sleep.
The last time we talked, when we were talking about Last of the Night, I asked you who paid for it, and you said you had a single investor that paid for that. But this was a person that you had worked with before, and obviously you had not lost them money, so they were willing to finance another film. How hard is it for you to find financing? I mean, part of your initial meeting with Kevin Scott Frakes was to talk about financing. How does somebody like yourself, who's busy making all these other movies, how do you even find time to ask people for money? How does that work? And will you do it for me? Go ask people for money on my behalf.
That's always the question I get is how do you find money? You gotta ask people. You gotta throw shit on the wall, and you better have something that you can present. You don't want to show up and go, "Hey, this is my first movie ever. Take a chance on me." Obviously, you have to do that if it's your first movie, but hopefully your first movie gets funded by somebody that trusts you or has faith in you, and then it grows. You make something that's hot, and then the next one should be a little bit bigger budget, and the next one should be a little bit bigger, and eventually you get to the point where people will want to invest and throw money at you. But the key is to find people that have a lot of money and have an interest in film.
Do you ever get worried? Like, I know you said, you start with this movie and then the next one, hopefully it'll be a little bit bigger budget and then a little bit bigger budget. Do you ever get nervous that like you're going to hit that point where it's got to be scary because the movie business is so fickle? You never know what's going to hit. You never know what's going to not hit. Like, how nervous are you that you're going to lose somebody some money at some point?
I mean, that's kind of any business, I think, right? If you open a coffee shop, doesn't mean that you're going to be the next Starbucks. It's business. The biggest thing I do is you just got to put your all into it and give it the best shot that you can and make, hopefully the audience, really likes what you put out. And you get a good distribution deal, and there's other ways too. You can try to lock in something like an MG and minimum guarantee with distributors and minimize the risk to the investor. I'm very big on talking to my investors, and here's the options that we have. Like, do you want to take less risks and try to get an MG on this movie, or do you want to go for it and see what happens? So it just depends on who you're working with.
Is that something like, obviously you don't go to a distributor until you have a finished product or a nearly finished product, right?
Depends. Now I go to distributors, or at least I start teasing it as I start production. The movie I did with Charlotte Kirk, I had distributors pre-selling at AFM Market before I even started shooting.
Wow.
Yeah, they put up a poster and everything, and so they it's a numbers game for them. So they start putting together what my name is worth, what Charlotte's name is worth. They think we can get X amount of dollars for that. They know what my production is going to look like to the most part, and start trying to pre-sell.
Who's your biggest market for these action thrillers that you're doing? What part of the world?
It's kind of varies everywhere. It just depends on each project. Germany is big. We've sold in Japan, smaller places like Berlin and there's different outlets. Latin America, I'm guessing this one is probably going to be huge in Latin America as well since we shot in Mexico.
So are you nervous to go back to Mexico after this film comes out? You're like, nope, not going back.
I'm not going to announce that I'm there, but...
You get pulled over, you're just going to hand the dude Skittles.
I'm going to hand him a DVD of this movie.
That's fantastic. Again, Golden comes out this Friday, March 20th. It stars Brian Austin Green, Massi Furlan, Robert Miano, Glenn Plummer, Alena Savostakova, and Josh Gilmer. You don't have to spoil this, but is there a potential for a Golden 2?
I don't know. I guess we'll see how Golden 1 does.
I guess we will. One of the things I wanted to ask you about is Last the Night. So Last the Night, for listeners, it was a film about basically during the COVID times when school was on Zoom, and it was a high school teacher who happened to overhear some things on a Zoom call he might not have should have, or it wasn't meant for him. And he was in a rough spot anyway. And it was based on a story that you were told by one of your friends who was, I don't know, like a principal or something. How often is it that your movies, it seems like almost all of them, but how often is it that a movie you make comes from a piece of real life, like inspired by true events, so to speak?
All of mine are that way unless I don't write the script. So the one I did with Charlotte Kirk was brought to me.
Last Bride?
Yeah. And I read it and I was kind of like story wise, yeah, okay, I'm in.
So you didn't write The Last Bride, which again comes out the end of this year or early next year. That was brought to you. You directed. Did you produce it as well?
Yes.
Is that 2 separate paychecks?
Yes.
Oh, cool. I love that. When are you ever going to get in front of the camera, bro?
I was in front of the camera in Last Night. I had a small role there. I played Brian's ex's new boyfriend.
Oh, what a dirty, dirty Dirty man.
Yeah, I thought about that though, because, I started my career in acting initially and I didn't want to be a struggling actor in Hollywood. And so ended up being a cinematographer and then a director. And I don't know, sometimes I think it would be fun, but I don't know. It'd be kind of weird for me now. I sit, in casting calls with some pretty big actors now. And it's like seeing myself on the other side of the table, maybe, who knows? Never know.
One of the things I always thought, like if somebody was going to defend themselves in a court case, and then they get called as a witness, I always imagined them sitting in the box as the witness, and then they get up and then they go run around and then they ask them a question and then they go back and sit down and then they answer their own question. So maybe you could do that in your casting call. You could just sit on one side of the table in a room by yourself.
You got the part. Let's go.
You should do a cameo in every one of your movies because then you'll get 3 paychecks.
I didn't pay myself on that one as an actor.
Oh, come on, man. Well, how about part of that 85 cents has to be yours, right? For acting? Come on now. Maybe if you cobble together 3 different roles, you're a producer, you're a director, and you do a cameo, we can round up to a whole $1.
Yeah, maybe I can just make a movie with 2 actors, huh?
Oh, you know what? I was talking to a guy. There was a movie a long time ago called Castaway with Tom Hanks. There was only, I think, 6 people in that movie who had lines.
So did you talk to Tom or did you talk to the volleyball?
It was the volleyball. I talked to Wilson, yeah. Wilson doesn't even get residuals on that? That's crazy.
Uh-huh.
No, it was Jeffrey Blake.
Oh, okay.
Like when they made the movie, like when they shot it, and as a director, when they shot it, like there was the whole first act that was just basically him and Helen Hunt, Jeffrey Blake and Helen Hunt, and then all that shit got cut out, and he's just got like maybe 6 lines at the end or something. But because there was only 6 people sharing that pile of cash, that's his most paid out royalty movie thing ever. And he was, barely in it by the time it got to the theaters.
Just heard something about that the other day because they decided to go to Wilson because it was his wife's last name.
Oh, that makes sense. It's weird, but that makes sense. That's a stretch, but okay. All right. That's funny. Every time I'm making a movie and there's somebody eating breakfast sausage, it's always Owen's sausage. No reason. Stupid.
Hey, Streetwalkers, here's a word from our sponsors.
Warning. Not listening to Fascination Street podcast may cause unexpected side effects. Side effects may include sudden fits of boredom, irrational curiosity about everything you missed, the inability to name your favorite podcast interview, spontaneous ignorance of obscure celebrity stories, talking to coworkers about nothing because you didn't hear the latest episode. Other symptoms may include excessive use of the phrase, "Wait, what happened?" chronic seriousness with no trace of laughter or delight, unexplainable urge to scroll aimlessly instead of being entertained. In rare cases, not listening may lead to wandering aimlessly through podcast apps, overexposure to true crime reruns, and thinking you're cooler than you actually are. If you find yourself experiencing any of these symptoms, stop what you're doing immediately and download Fascination Street Podcast. Ask your podcaster if Fascination Street Podcast is right for you. Spoiler alert, it is.
Let's get back into it.
So this movie, Golden, is going to be in theaters, and then not long after that, it's going to be on VOD, I'm assuming everywhere, right? All the platforms?
Yeah.
Are you going to go into the movie theaters like Tom Cruise, and you're just going to walk up at the beginning of every showing and be like, "Hey, thanks for seeing my movie. I'm the bee's knees, and so are you. Check it out." Are you going to do that?
I'm going to be at one of the theaters the night before on the 19th for the red carpet event. I've seen the movie so many times in post-production and working on it that I probably don't want to see it for a while, but I'd love for everybody else to see it. And anybody who DMs me on the Instagram at Nick Leisure, I think I might give away some tickets to the red carpet premiere.
No shit. This episode comes out on Monday, and the red carpet premiere is going to be on Thursday, you said?
Yeah.
In Los Angeles? Where?
Los Angeles.
Is it in?
Yeah.
It is LA? Okay. Well, you heard him, guys. If you're listening to this before Thursday, the 19th of March, and you're in Los Angeles, if you're in San Antonio, don't reach out to this fool because that'd be a waste of tickets. If you're in Los Angeles, reach out to this dude on Instagram at Nick Leisure and see what happens.
If they're still available, I'll give you some tickets.
Nah, I'm cutting that part out. Nah, he said every single person ever.
I didn't say every person.
No, it's all the people's. Nah, maybe you guys will get lucky and he'll throw some tickets your way, or at least maybe he'll throw popcorn at you while he's watching the movie. That'd be fun.
There you go.
How often have you gotten to see your movie in the theater?
Different movies?
Yeah, your movie. Like, how many times have you seen your movie in a theater?
I saw Clear Shot.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Last Night.
Mm-hmm.
One and the Same, which is one I produced. Yeah, so it'd be 3 movies now.
So when you're watching or you're in a theater that's showing your film, are you paying attention to the film or are you paying attention to the audience watching the film?
Audience.
100%. Because you're like, I know this story. I know what happens next.
Yeah.
Has that informed any part about your directing or your producing going forward?
Seeing the audience reaction, how they react to the movie, if they're really dialed into paying attention to the movie, that kind of gives me like an overview of like, what did I do right and wrong on a movie, right? So fortunately, everybody seems to love it so far, so I'm doing something right somewhere.
Well, I think that just your roster of films that you've already done shows that you're doing the right thing. And you've got 3 movies potentially coming out this year, to be decided whether The Last Bride makes it this year or not. But bro, how many people have 3 movies coming out in the same year? Bro, you're killing it.
Try.
You try. Oh, it shows. It's all of your hard work. That's what it is. It's your work ethic. That's what's doing it. And your drive and apparently your professionalism.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How many stories are you in the middle of writing? I know you like to write from true events. Oh, well, why do you think that is? Why do you think that Inspired by True Events is kind of your wheelhouse? How come?
I don't know. I'm not really big on like fantasy or sci-fi and stuff like that. I don't know. I get inspired by a lot of things. Sometimes I'm sitting on a plane going somewhere and I see something or I read an article and I'm like, that would be a really cool movie. I have another movie that I'm not sure when we're going to shoot it. It's about a boxer that was a pro boxer and opened up a gym after his career and married this girl. And
are you fucking with me?
no, I'm not.
That was 2 weeks ago on my show. I had a 2-time world champion boxer and legend, Jesse James Leha, who fought for 17 years and then opened a boxing gym. Come on. This is
No, it's
crap.
a different story. This one, I saw it on like 48 hours or something, and I was watching. This guy's wife tried to kill him, and
Jesus.
she tried to have him killed and hire a hitman. And he went as far as to working with the police department on getting her to pay for a hitman and bury him somewhere. And they took pictures of him and everything and put makeup on him, made him look like he was dead, and ended up, arresting her. And so I reached out to him after I saw him on like 48 hours. And
You reached out to the boxer?
yeah, I reached out to him and he hit me back like within a couple hours. And we ended up meeting. He's in Texas, and we ended up meeting in Lake Tahoe the next week. We signed a deal to do his movie. And
Really?
so we wrote the script up and everything. And that's another one I still have there that I want to shoot pretty soon too.
Wow. It was in Texas, but it wasn't in San Antonio, right?
No, I was in Houston.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I don't want none of that to be followed by San Antonio peoples.
But I heard she's single now and she's out of jail. So if you're looking,
Oh.
I might be able to make some connections.
I have a question about this. How do you ever get out of jail for that?
She hired a hitman to, I think she got 15 years or something like that and ended up getting out on good behavior, half-time or something like that. So she is out now.
You're going to put her in the movie?
San Antonio.
Shut your mouth, dude. You're messing with me.
I really think she is, actually, because she's not allowed to be within a certain radius of Houston. So I think she said she was either in San Antonio or Dallas, but I think
Let's go Dallas. We don't need that shit here, bro.
she's single if you're looking.
Well, I'm about to be married for 25 years, so I'm good. But hey, dude, are you going to put her in this movie? I know she probably could use a job.
He's going to play her, but it won't be her.
That's crazy shit. So that's kind of how you pick your projects, is based on, whatever you see or read or hear something and you're like, you know what? And then that's when your creativity starts to kick in, is based on a nugget of something else.
Yeah, usually it's something that pops up. It says, or I get a script from somebody that says, this is a great script, read it. I get that all the time. But if it is a really good script and a great idea, then I get interested in it and go, let's see how we can make it happen. Or if somebody says I have a great script and they do, and they have money behind it too, then I go, okay, let's really figure this out.
That makes sense. Listeners, Streetwalkers, remember, at Nick Leisure on Instagram, definitely reach out if you want some free tickets to a Hollywood screening, like a premiere, red carpet and everything.
premiere, meet the actors, get a signed poster.
Meet the actors?
Yeah, they'll be there.
Why? Aren't they busy?
Yeah, they're busy showing up for the premiere.
Hey, speaking of which, you and Brian were on whatever that Mario Lopez show is earlier this week, right? Or last week?
Access Daily.
Yeah, that. What was that like? I've met Mario. Well, I haven't met him. I've seen him in person. I did not meet him because I'm not a monster. Guy was busy. Anyway, what was it like, man? That dude was in Colors. That guy was in the movie Colors.
Was he?
Uh-huh. Mario Lopez was in the movie Colors.
What was he in Colors? It's been so long since I watched that movie.
He was like a gangbanger or some shit.
And Plummer was in Colors.
Sure. Don't get mad at me, bro.
But I don't remember. I have to look back on that again. I mean, I know Saved by the Bell and all that stuff, but
Sure, yeah. It blew me away, man. He's in Colors. Anyway, so what was it like to fucking hang out with that dude for a bit?
Mario was cool. I mean, it was a short period of time. It was professional, but him and Brian have been cool for a really long time. So he did an interview last time too for Last of the Night. I think it was a podcast thing though with Mario.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, this one was in studio, so that was pretty cool.
Sure. Well, obviously we talked about where people can find you on Instagram at Nick Leisure. Is there other places on social media that you are?
Instagram, and just gets posted through to Facebook.
Is there any place that people should go to for leisure films?
I mean, you can look at leisurefilms.com, but I mean, who uses websites anymore?
What's a website?
What is that? But if it's Instagram, is mainly, right?
I think it is. Are you on the TikToks? Are you doing dances and shit on TikTok?
Everybody keeps telling me I need to be, but I just don't. I don't have enough time. It takes time to sit there and make these things, I don't have enough
That sure does.
for Instagram. I've got a lot of content that I should be posting, and I don't. And I get shit for it all the time. Like, oh, you're with that person. You should have posted that. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I need somebody who's really good at social media, and I just need to hire that person.
Well, don't you have like 500 people working for you or something?
Yeah, but they don't work with social media. They work in different departments.
Sure.
I need like that little nerdy kid that's like at home and just knows all the little algorithms, and he's got 1 million followers, but he's never left his bedroom or something.
Sure. Yeah. I also need that guy. Everybody, once again, Golden hits theaters this Friday, March 20th. If you are in the Los Angeles area and you're feeling lucky, reach out on Instagram, DM at Nick Leisure, and see if you can't be one of those lucky fools who's going to get a ticket or two to go see this at the red carpet and meet all the people and get a signed thing and also see a fantastic movie. Nick, as we're heading out, is there anything we didn't talk about or I didn't ask you about specifically this time that you wanted to talk about today? Did we cover the important things?
Got it covered. I think you caught up with my life, and you have enough content for the next couple years.
Are you going to come back and promote New Year's Absolution? When is that? You said July, right?
July, yeah.
Why July? Why not make it like a January movie? What's up with you, bro? You're like, because nobody goes to the movie in January, Steve.
Distribution said they wanted to do it in July, so yeah.
Besides Michael, is it Copon?
Mm-hmm.
Besides him, who else is in New Year's Absolution?
Well, there's like Raphael Siegel, there's Lamando Hill, there's quite a few other people that are in it, but recognizable names that I think Michael Copon's probably going to be the one that you guys recognize the most.
All right, cool. Well, like I said, check out Golden this weekend, March 20th, and keep your eyes peeled for New Year's Absolution in July, and towards the end of the year or into the beginning of 2027, check out The Last Bride with previous guest Charlotte Kirk. Nick, dude, as always, man, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day and your hectic writing, producing, directing schedule to hang out and let us get to know you a little bit better on Fascination Street, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, it was 100% my pleasure, and you have a great rest of your week, buddy. Have fun at the premiere, dude. The red carpet's going to be a blast. Go enjoy it.
I would try.
You earned it. This is the part that you get to relax and enjoy what you've done, so enjoy it.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, buddy. Bye.
All right.
Opening music is from the song FSP Theme, written, performed, and provided by Ambush Vin. closing music is from the song Kosh, written, performed, and provided with the blessings of Kosh Mojo himself. If you like the show, tell a friend. Subscribe and rate and review the show wherever you listen to podcasts. All episodes are available ad-free at patreon.com/Fascination Street Podcast. And don't forget to follow the show on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok. And again, thanks for listening.